Hi everybody, it's Rob and Leslie from the Château de Grifferaie. As you probably noticed, we're back in the United States, and we wanted to just put out a bit of a September update. Stuff continues to go on at the Château. Good things are happening, and we actually have quite a bit of good news, I think, that we can tell you this semester. But yeah, no, we came back end of August, and I'm back to teaching at Multnomah University. We live in the faculty and residence house. Multnomah has been so good to us over the years. I think for 4 years now. They gave us a bit of a job on campus caring for students, which we would have done whether it was a job or not. And as part of that job, they let us stay in the dorm the first couple of years, and then they let us stay in a faculty and residence house. And it's been amazing. Now, if you watch our videos regularly, you know that we're losing the faculty and residence house. So that is tough. It's been a good little house for us. Okay, we're all settled into our spots. Mr. Bingley in his favorite spot on the back of the couch. So this has been a little unsettling. I mean, we're losing the FIR house and not knowing exactly what we're going to do. What are your thoughts? You know, potentially not being in America as long. Great to be in France.
Yep. What part of this, honey, hasn't been unsettling? I think is my statement of that. Like, what part has been just a walk in the park? Nothing really.
Right.
So, and we knew at some point we'd move out of the campus. But you know, whenever that happens, you have to go what next. So yes, it's unsettling. Yes, we have to do some packing and purging and all of that, and figure out whether or not we can take stuff back, and whether or not we can figure out all of those documents. Like, I don't know. There's always so many unknowns. I think that's, for me, I don't know about you, but that's my thing I get annoyed at.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Hard. Like it's you know, we got a lot of stuff because we had parents die early. Yeah. And so we inherited a lot of stuff, and so we've been hauling that around for 20 years, and you know, you love them and you want to keep the memories alive, but then sometimes you know, it becomes like, oh, we got to move all this stuff, and what do we do? And you don't want to lose it. By the way, hilarious with the big dog in the front and then you in the back. It's pretty, people are enjoying that at home. Mr. Bingley, he's the star of this shot, aren't you, Mr. Bingley? But what kind of stuff are you gonna move to France? Like, are you gonna, you know?
Yeah, you know, when we were in our house in Happy Valley, there were more things I had expected I would bring if we were going to do a container. But since then, I've gotten rid of a lot, and now our kids are finally sort of at a place where they're buying houses and getting married and all those kinds of things. So I think they'll take a good chunk. And now that we've been in the Chateau a little while, you know, a lot of North American stuff really doesn't look that great in an old house there. It just kind of looks weird. Not so much the modern versus the antique or anything like that. It's just the ceilings are so high, the walls are so big, everything. Whenever I am working with a client and they upgrade, you know, they move into a bigger house, then I always tell them, you know, get the bootstraps on, because it's going to be pricey if we're going to redecorate a room and stuff, because oftentimes we need bigger furniture. We need more furniture. Now your master bedroom is 3 times the size your last one was. Well, all the pieces can't be itty bitty little pieces that are cheap. They have to be bigger scaled pieces, and they always cost more money. So there's some of those kind of things going on in the Chateau. So some of our pieces are more North American sized houses, furniture. So we'll see what goes and what doesn't go.
Kind of thinking it's going to be a lot of boxes.
It'll be a lot of dishes. In France, you know how here in North America, we have places like HomeSense and Home Goods and TJ Maxx and Winners, you know, all those kind, where we can find really great home accessories and throws and sheets and, you know, all this stuff that's really great. We don't really have that in France. There are some stores, but not to the same degree that we have here. So that's one of the things that are definitely cheaper here. So most of that I have will definitely be coming to France.
Isn't it interesting how like if you're buying an armoire or an antique bed, way cheaper in France. If you're buying like metal cast iron urns, America.
Yes, I kept finally, oh my goodness. So I've had black cast iron, you know, urns that are old looking for, I don't know, when did we buy those?
A long time ago.
30 years ago. And they have followed us to every house. I have always loved them, and I will be thrilled if we can get those to France. Those are still expensive in France. Anything that's old and good looking is great in France, except for that. I don't know, everyone likes them.
Yeah, for some
They're
reason.
just expensive there.
Well, back in the United States, and it's great to be back to our cars. And this house that we're losing in May, oh, sad day. It's been so good. But I wish I could take these to France because they work. Now this car I've had for 21 years and bought it when it was, only 1 year old, half price. It was such a great deal. And it's probably time to sell it. It's absolutely tragic. I don't want to sell it, but we're just not here in the States long enough to justify keeping it. So hopefully I'll sell it to one of my kids and, give them a good deal. But if not, gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, the house has been great and it's been wonderful. And Amy's been living with us too for a couple of years. It's great. She's working full time now, so she's able to go find a place. And we've got to make a plan for next year. Now, maybe you're thinking, well, that's a little bit tricky. And the reason it's tricky is because we consider ourselves tent makers, which it's sort of if you're kind of familiar with Christian circles, that's a term that sometimes Christians will use when they're on a mission or they're doing something, but they're not raising funds for it. They're trying to pay for it with their own jobs. And so it's, I mean, you probably don't care, but it's from the New Testament. There's a guy named Paul. He made tents, and that's how he supported himself. Anyways, that's what we're trying to do with me teaching and Leslie decorating. Now we're over here, we're in France so often that Leslie's sort of shutting down her decorating business. She still has a few clients she's doing some things for. This is pretty cool. I don't know if you're on our Facebook or social media, but one of the nice houses Leslie's been working on, she works on some pretty cool houses, people with bigger budgets than a teacher. And this is one of the houses she's been working on for the better part of a decade. And it just went up for sale for, now I can't remember, was it 7 million? Was it 11 million? It was quite a bit of money. We'll put on some pictures here so you can enjoy it. Maybe Leslie could talk about it a little bit.
So when I come home, the other part of my life kicks in, and that's having design clients and all these kind of things kick in. So anybody that, is still hanging around that still wants to work on projects, then I still allow repeat clients to submit projects to work on. So there's one that we finally kind of concluded because they want to sell. So we found it online, and that'll happen while I was just gone. And it's been a house I think we've been working on, I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years?
Almost 10, I thought.
No.
We did the math, didn't we?
No, I think it was 2017 maybe they bought it.
Okay, a long time ago.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a big house. Maybe 20,000 square feet, I think. And so it's been fun. It has kind of morphed into different directions than maybe I would take it. But I tried to help guide them through it. I called it the villa. That was just my nickname for it because it kind of looked like an Italian villa, which is kind of why we leaned into the European antique vibe. But they kind of got into that whole theme and went to town on that. So maybe it's a little more hardcore than I would go. But you know what? It's a lovely house. I liked being there. It'll be a bummer not to be there anymore. But here's a few pictures. This is the outside. There were beautiful waterfalls and beautiful entrances, and you won't even be able to see all the amazing things that were on the grounds. You walk in, a big sweeping staircase was awesome. The foyer was great. In the living room, we did cool features on the ceilings with, extra pattern. And so when they bought the house, it had actually gone into foreclosure. So it was kind of a mess. Like kids had gotten in there and destroyed a bunch of it. So we kind of started from scratch with everything. And that was super fun. It has a ballroom, which was unique.
What's in the ballroom?
And we created it in it has like a stage, so they could have had performances and stuff there, but then also they put in an incredible screen, an amazing speaker system, and then we created niches all the way around so that if they wanted to have a big dance or a big party, then all the theater chairs could all roll away that we had on these different platforms, I guess. And then each niche had, more beautiful furniture when they wanted to have more of a upscale kind of party and have a big dance floor, like a ballroom.
What other rooms do you like?
So his library office was pretty fantastic. It was just great. I would spend a lot of time in there if it was my house.
Yeah. Another room?
What?
Another room you like?
The pool house. The pool house is great. The pool house was lovely. It was very fun to do. I'm not sure how many pictures I have of that, to be frank.
Yeah, so she's kind of slowing the business down. I'm still teaching, which is great. But with us losing the house, that made us have to try to think of make some hard decisions, because of course we need to find a place to live. Can't really afford to rent a place in Portland while I'm teaching. Now, if you've watched our videos, you also know that we have a house in Newport. We built it quite a few years ago, maybe 5-7 years ago. 2014 we started, finished maybe 17, 18, and we rented out. We did that because we realized that we work in kind of a lower paying jobs, private Christian school, and so we didn't really have any retirement fund. And so Leslie said, hey, maybe we should build a house at the beach and rent it out, pay it off, so that once we have to sell our house and move out, we have a place to go and it can get paid for. It's worked great. House rent's great, people love it, and so it's been a terrific house for us. So we have that one. We're not completely on the street. And so probably we've come up with a plan. I think it's a good plan. I also think it's a plan that those of you that love the Chateau will like this plan, because it has us in France more. So I approached my boss, my new boss at Multnomah, and I said, hey, I wonder if there's a way I could drop down to 3/4 time and then maybe just teach one semester really heavy, and then maybe do a few online things the rest of the semester. And that will allow us to be in France at least 8 months, maybe 9 months even. In fact, who knows how it's going to end up, but at least 8 months. And so they agreed, and they were enthusiastically supportive. Thank you very much, Multnomah University. And they're going to allow me to do that. So it might be 3/4 time, might be a little bit more. We'll see how it is. But I'm going to do my teaching, most of my teaching, starting in 2024. I'm going to do most of my teaching January to April, which will allow us to offer 2 sessions. So we're going to do a session in 24. We're going to do a session in May, June, and then another one, a longer one, September to November. So, I mean, the good news for you, if you like the videos, is we'll be in France longer, and we're going to do more videos. So I think that's good news. We might even try, depending. I think we're going to be okay financially. It's, a little bit of a pay hit, but we're okay. We have fairly low needs, I think, financially. We might try to do more videos, and that'll help a little bit too. So maybe it'll offset. When we're over there, of course, we can rent out the beach house. So that's the good news. Starting next academic year, 24-25, we'll be out there at least 8 months, which also means normally we go out late February. That means that this next year, 2024, we'll probably go out late February and stay maybe till December. So it's great news for the Chateau, and it's fun for us. It has been hard to be away from the Chateau. I think both of us have found it hard. Okay, we've managed to get Leslie in the shot here. She's working. I'm just goofing around today watching football. But Leslie, missing the Chateau? Are you missing France?
Yeah, the nice thing about change of scenery, I guess, is we've kind of had, has it been a month?
Yeah.
Off, I guess I'd say. Is you start getting some sleep, you start relaxing a little bit, even though you've got stuff to do here. It's just different than what we've been doing. You start to get some energy back, and you kind of get in the mood to go work on stuff again. So it's been hard being here because my brain's already going to things that I want to get done over there. And so we have friends there, so I'm always texting Danica going, can you measure this? And can you measure that? And so anyway, yeah, our brains are always sort of there even when we're here. So
from my perspective, I'm really happy we have security cameras and we're watching the footage, and I try to capture footage of the roofers working. You can see them coming across. Our friends Jason and Danica have been awesome. They've been sending us pictures and updates of the progress. The roofers look like they're almost all the way across the front, which is fantastic news. We had a mower breakdown, which seems to happen regularly with our big yard. Even though it's the good mower now, the new mower, but we got that fixed, and those guys are working hard for us. Being back in Portland has been great. There's a fancy word, ambivalent. Are you familiar with that? That's not apathetic. Apathetic means you don't care. Ambivalent means you feel strong emotions, conflicting emotions, and that would best describe how we're doing, because it has been great to be on campus and seeing the new students. I get to teach 120 freshmen, and I get to teach them a class called Foundations of the Christian Faith, which is sort of like an introduction to Christianity. So that has been great. We got students from all kinds of backgrounds in the class, and they've been terrific. And even better is the fact that when we're on campus, since I have these guys in class, they know us, they're not quite as scared. They'll come up and say hi to Mr. Bingley. The campus has been a very friendly place this year, knowing all these students. So we've had great discussions. It's been great to see our own children. We've had them over several times. Of course, Amy living with us, so we see her all the time. They're all doing awesome. That's been fun. It's been fun to eat out at restaurants. I even got to a Ducks game, the Oregon Ducks. Go Ducks. All right, here in good time. Time for a pregame hot dog. $1.50. Go Costco. USA. USA. Yeah, so I mean, man, you can't argue with that. I mean, that was pretty great. And then, of course, we come out to the beach house on the regular. We're coming out on the weekends a lot, and we're doing some work to try to fix everything up. When you rent out a house, it tends to go downhill over time, and so you have to, you have to repair things. So we're out here repairing things, but also enjoying the beautiful ocean. It's a great house. Okay, so what have been the best things? What have been the best things about being back in the States, in Portland?
In Portland, I've said this before. Clearly, the kids it's been great being able to have them for supper, and I don't know, just being part of their everyday life and hearing about our son's new job, and of course he's married, so getting to know his wife better, and of course being part of Amy's life. All of that is awesome. And I like the fall. It's the startup of school, and all the students are on campus. There's that, I don't know, there's something about that feeling. And we've had different people give us fruit and stuff that's been ripe, and so I've been able to make some jam, and all those kind of fall kind of things that are kind of fun to do. And I've tried a few new recipes. We're gonna be doing a fall session next year with LBSA. And so because we're in the fall now, I've been really trying to get my head in the game of that kind of food, right? So I've been trying to already tweak menus because it'll be a longer session. Oof, we're going to need a lot of food. And so I'm trying to find new things and relook at old recipes that I've had that feel fallish. And so that's been fun. I've liked it.
Now, moving to another country, and we officially this year changed our French residence to our primary residence in France, and so that means we're gonna have to start paying taxes in France a little bit more. It also means we're gonna go for like a full-time visa, which is complicated. Changing countries is complicated. For one thing, so we did all the stuff online and gave them all the documents, and then they said they would send a health, doctor's examination, and they want all our immunization and stuff. So we got that arrived a couple weeks after we had left France, and so we were supposed to do an appointment in September. But of course we're not in France, so we wrote them back. They were very nice, said, hey, maybe we can do it in December. So we're fingers crossed, we're praying for that visa to come through. If we don't get that one, we'll get another one. We'll make sure we get back to France. But it's complicated. And also, since we're losing the house, we got to get our stuff to France. And so we're going to try to give as much as we can to our kids, the big furniture. But there's a lot of things you inherit, like your parents' china and, things like that are memories, pictures, accessories. We really want to get them to France. And the cheapest way to do that is a container. So we actually found a pretty good deal. It looks like it's $7,600 for a door-to-door service for a 20-foot container. We're gonna load it, we're gonna pack it, we'll unload it. We have a couple hours, so it'll be a rush. But I think we're gonna do that, and we're gonna take a bunch of stuff over. So we're making the move. Yeah, it's tough because you're thinking, I don't know if this stuff will ever come back to North America. So then you're thinking, well, you want your kids to inherit memories. It's all very complicated. But it's a beautiful chateau, and what we're doing with the study abroad program is powerful, and we believe it. I've been reading some of the feedback our students have been giving us. In fact, a number of them made posts on social media as we were putting up our publicity. You maybe saw our publicity video for 24. It's pretty cool. It's our last video. Not very many people watch it because people watch it less when there's no chateau, and I understand that. But it's going to be a couple of great sessions. And good news, we've started opening applications, and I believe as of the time I'm filming this, I think we've had 28 applications. Now, that's amazing. We're gonna take 50 people, 25 each session probably this year. We haven't fixed the second floor, the deuxième étage, the up there. is not done yet, so that'll allow us to take a few more, but we gotta let the roof finish first. But yeah, 28 applications out of 50, and you gotta realize it's almost a year until next year's fall session. And it's whatever that is, 8 months or 7 months until the May session. And we're almost, I mean, we're not full, but we're getting there. So things are going really good. We're extremely thankful. You know, Leslie and I were driving to Newport, and it was over lunchtime, so we decided to stop at good old Chick-fil-A. And we were sitting there having a chicken burger, and just thinking to ourselves how fortunate we are. Like, fortunate, I'm not sure, is that the word? Maybe the word is blessed. You know, I always feel funny when people say they're blessed, but it's probably the right word, right? Like, you know, good things have happened to us, people have been good to us, God's been good to us, and we're deeply thankful for all of it. We're deeply thankful to God for the things He's given us and the opportunities He's given us. Now, you know, there's been a lot of hard work, you know, and there's been a lot of strategy, so it's, you know, I'm not trying to downsell that. You know, we all have a part in it, but ultimately, you know, God kind of charts out our course, and so we're very thankful. Man, if I can put in kind of a devotional word at the end, you know, and I think I've said this before, but when we first kind of started our life out, and we knew that we wanted to work in churches, or maybe, you know, focus on a life that was helping people and maybe not making a lot of money, I thought our life was going to be terrible. Like, I thought we were going to be poor. I thought we were going to have to go to countries that were very unpleasant, you know, like super cold or super hot and steamy, or I thought it was going to be scary. And it's been amazing now, 30 years into it, or maybe even 35 years into it since making that decision. Our life has been so good. And, you know, faith is scary, you know, like saying yes. You know, you have an idea and you think it's going to be a good idea, and if you're a Christian, you're thinking maybe, you know, you're asking God if He wants you to do it, and then you got to take a step of faith, and you got to start. And a lot of people in the world don't do it because it's hard, it's risky, and it's uncomfortable, and you don't know how it's going to end. And so we're well into this. We don't know how it's going to end, but we've been amazed at some of the people who have come alongside of us. We have some board members, guys, that are amazing, and they've man, they've given us good advice, and they've helped us, and sometimes they've loaned us money, and sometimes they've introduced us to people that are helping us, and it's just been incredible to watch some of the people God's brought into our life. And thank you to each one of you, like, deeply, you know, bottom of our hearts, thank you. You've validated our faith, and you've allowed us to do this stuff, and so we're not out of it yet. You know, it's going to be an interesting year. With at least reduced salary, and who knows how it works out. Maybe we lose all our salary, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep trying to do the right thing, and remaining thankful, and getting back to that chateau, and making it beautiful. One more piece of news. We are going to go back in December. We are going to do another 25 days of Christmas. I'm staying a little longer to keep teaching because the students, you know, I got a lot of teaching this semester, so I won't get out there quite as early. But by Advent, we're going to try to shoot another 25 videos in 25 days. And I hope you'll come along for the ride. It'll be fun. It was just going to be me, but then the French government said, no, we need you both to come to the doctor. And so we're both going to fly out. I don't know if Bingley will make it. Bingley may stay with his brother David and his sister Amy. We'll see. But it's going to be great. Going to be a great end to the year. Thanks very much. We might shoot like an Ask Me Anything kind of video in the next couple of weeks. Like, if you have any questions, just for the fun, just to keep it interesting while we're gone. So if you have any questions that you'd like to send to us, why don't you put them in the comments, and we'll get to it next video if you don't mind. That'll be fun. Leslie and I will just sit down together. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, liking the video, and comments, all of that. Have a good rest of the fall, everybody. Okay, this is why you guys should come to Oregon sometime. Give me a second, I'll show you this. The camera does not capture it, but my goodness. So beautiful, the sunsets here.